The world of sports is often a battlefield, but in recent months, a new kind of controversy has erupted, one that's shaking the very foundations of fairness and gender identity. The debate centers around Imane Khelif, an Algerian boxer who has drawn the ire of many, particularly those who identify as feminists and those who support the rights of women in sports. Khelif has been accused of having an unfair advantage due to her naturally high testosterone levels, despite being born with XX chromosomes. This has ignited a firestorm of debate, with J.K. Rowling, among others, taking a strong stance against Khelif's participation in women's boxing. Rowling has been a vocal critic of what she perceives as an erosion of women's rights, arguing that allowing athletes with XY chromosomes to compete in women's sports creates an uneven playing field. Many women share this sentiment, feeling that their hard-earned spaces in sports are being threatened by the inclusion of athletes with male biological characteristics. They argue that allowing this creates a dangerous precedent, potentially putting women at risk of physical harm. The controversy came to a head when Angela Carini, a seasoned Italian boxer, withdrew from her match against Khelif after just 46 seconds, citing the unfairness of the competition. This sparked a heated debate about the very definition of woman and the role of gender identity in the world of sports. The debate is complex and multifaceted. On one hand, there are those who believe that allowing athletes with XY chromosomes to compete in women's sports is inherently unfair and potentially dangerous. They point to the physical advantages that men often have over women in sports, arguing that this creates an uneven playing field. They often cite examples of male athletes transitioning to female and achieving remarkable success in women's sports, suggesting that this is evidence of an inherent advantage. On the other hand, there are those who argue that gender identity is more than just biology. They believe that an individual's gender identity should be respected, and that athletes should be allowed to compete in the category that aligns with their self-identified gender. They argue that focusing on the biological differences between men and women reinforces harmful stereotypes and ignores the reality of intersex individuals, whose bodies may not conform to traditional binary definitions of male and female. The scientific and medical communities have also entered the debate, providing evidence about the complexities of sex and gender, particularly the existence of intersex individuals and the varying levels of hormones in both men and women. They stress the importance of understanding the nuances of biological sex and gender identity, advocating for a more nuanced approach to inclusivity in sports. The debate about Imane Khelif and the inclusion of athletes with XY chromosomes in women's sports is far from over. It raises fundamental questions about the future of fairness and inclusivity in the world of sports. Will we continue to define sports by biological sex, or will we move towards a more inclusive model that embraces the complexities of gender identity? The answers to these questions will have profound implications for the future of sports, and more broadly, for how we understand and respect the diversity of human experience. One thing is certain. The conversation about fairness and inclusivity in sports will continue, forcing us to confront our own beliefs and prejudices as we strive for a more just and equitable world.